Hey, are you thinking about buying and selling? Here are 3 options you should consider.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. It's the Hatch Homes Group, a Monday housing market update, and you have Shay
Hello.
and Angela today. So we are getting this a lot with our clients. They want to, they ideally want to buy before they sell. They need to do both. They're trying to figure it all out. So these are really the top 3 concerns that they have. So we thought, let's run through them. Okay, so first concern, what if I don't find anything? That is a very valid concern. You are selling this house that you really, really love, but it's just not working for you, and you want to make sure you can find something to move into. You don't want to be homeless, obviously. So this is what we do. We'll sit down first, talk, what are you looking for? What do you need to buy? What do you need to find? Let's look through active listings, let's look through pending listings, and let's look through sold listings. Make sure that this home that you want exists. Also make sure that home you want exists in your price point.
Yeah, that's key.
That's huge. We want to make sure
yeah.
that you're not looking for $1 million home, right? And you can't afford it. So that's a big thing. Once we figure out, okay, the house you want, it exists, yay, then let's move forward with our plan.
So one of the topics we're going to talk about today is, should I buy first and then sell? So to do that, you would have to do what's called a contingent offer on something. So the biggest thing there is there's some challenges with that, right? So you have to, one, live in the house while you're making these offers and while you're even under contract on something. And some of those cons can be you'd have to deal with living with staged furniture, trying to get things done prior to putting it on the market is really challenging too, like getting paint done and so forth, because you do have all your personal belongings there. And we really do suggest that you remove most of your personal belongings, like pictures and anything that would kind of, get in the way of someone seeing the home as their home. And then we also suggest a lot of times removing valuables and medications and so forth. So there's just some challenges that come along with that. And so we just really want people to understand that it is an option. It's not always the easiest option, but it is an option to do the contingent. And then also, when you do the contingent offer, your offer is not really actually, like once you go pending, you're in what's called a bumpable stage. And in that bumpable stage, a lot of times it's really challenging because someone could come along with a non-contingent offer and bump you. So that's really another thing to consider too, because you can fall in love with this house and then someone comes along and just takes it from you in a sense. So these are just things to consider. There's some other great options where it kind of saves you that stress. And Angela's going to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, and I was going to say that when you do the contingent offer, you can start going house hunting right away, but it's best to wait until your house is pending and through their inspections,
good point.
Because then you can go house hunting and you will be subject to the sale of the house
Right.
instead of contingent. So, but all the things that you said about, you got to live there and
Right.
through the showings, and then you have the stress of being bumpable, all that stuff. We do have some strategies about the bumpable, but you'll have to reach out to us to hear those strategies.
Absolutely.
So here's the other option that a lot of our clients are deciding to do, because we have options for them, and that is to buy first and then sell. Now that there's tons of options, because a lot of people have equity in their home to pull from. So you have to connect with a really great lender. They're going to run through your options in terms of getting a home equity line of credit and using that to purchase your next home, doing bridge loans. There's different types of bridge loans. So even doing a second mortgage on the new house. The issue is that you have to be in a financially stable position to actually hold those mortgages, right? Like you're technically going to be holding 2 mortgages at the same time. So that can be stressful. So we always recommend pencil it out, pencil your numbers out. What does that look like? And I will say from experience with this that, I've had clients that pencil it out and they're like, okay, I feel comfortable with this. Yeah. But it is more stressful when you're going through it than when you're penciling it out on paper.
So much more stressful. People don't realize how.
Yes.
Can be overwhelming. Just one mortgage is already right, but 2.
And then having your home on the market, and all this stuff that comes up. So it's stressful, but we've had lots of clients do it very successfully.
Very successfully. Yeah.
And the benefit is that you get to have, your home. You get to move out. You get to find a house, so you don't feel like you're sacrificing. on
Right.
what you're buying, because
Absolutely.
you got to buy the house you want first and then focus on selling. Then you get your home all ready for the market. Like, it's a lot easier to be completely moved out. You could do fresh coat paint, you could clean your carpets easier, and then you can have it fully staged and might even get more money, right? Like, you probably get more money for your house that way.
I would say generally that I see more success in that
Yes.
direction. Yeah.
Yes, but again, there's some stresses.
Right. There's always pros and cons. So the other option is you can rent, which is a great option. There's just some pros and cons to that too. So one of the biggest pros is that you can take your time to find that right property. You're not in a rush, which is kind of nice. There's definitely a lot of benefits just feeling like you can just take a step back and just really look at the market and be patient and more methodical. Because sometimes when you're doing the buy and sell at the same time, it can kind of feel a little chaotic. So there's that. There's definitely some pros. The cons, however, is you're paying someone else's mortgage, which is never fun, right? You're just throwing that money out there. You're dealing with the rental market, which, as we know, like the rental prices are going up and up and up, right?
Yeah.
And you have to do these. A lot of times to get the best rental terms, you need to do a 12-month lease. And the problem with that is if you need to break it, a lot of times you're asked to pay a month and a half, to break it, which can be really expensive. So it's just added cost. And then you got to move twice, and that's the cost of doing that. It's not even just cost, it's time and energy of all that, and the stress of moving twice is just, I wouldn't want to go through that personally. That's just my thing. So another option from renting would be maybe live with family. And that really does take a lot of your plate because you're not paying that extra money out every month. You're able to save money actually, which is wonderful. And again, you're still kind of dealing with that moving twice and storing your stuff. So that can be a little bit stressful financially, but you're also making, you're saving money, which is the key. So another stressor, and I dealt with this myself, is one time I bought new construction. I had to wait and I had to live with my family. Loved my father-in-law. Yeah, I love him. He's a great guy. But the stress of that was like just dealing with someone living a little differently. And, some of the nuances, especially with him, he's a bachelor. And so he's just not the most cleanly guy. So, find dishes in the sink and just dealing with different personalities of living with somebody is so different than dealing with them, outside of their home and their routine. So that's just something to consider too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the moral of the story is there's lots of options for people. When we sit down with our clients, we break down like what would be the best option. I mean, do you have a good living situation that you could move? Not everyone could move in with family, right?
It's challenging.
Yeah. But we have a lot of clients that have gone through this. We can share their experiences and we can help you hopefully make the right decision for what your situation is.
Oh, we'll absolutely help them. It's just, we'll just make sure that we have to measure through or go through everything with them to make sure that we really do find that perfect situation for them. And
Absolutely.
Ideally, I mean, it would be perfect throughout the whole thing, but it's never a perfect solution. It's just there will be a best solution.
Yeah, and having plan Bs, right?
Always.
Like we got this plan, and then this is the plan B.
Planning is huge, especially in that because there's a lot of logistics and the financials.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a CPA, we really suggest talking to a CPA financially to understand. Talking to a really good lender, like she mentioned earlier, is really important.
Key.
It's key because really that plan, if you have the right lender, they're going to help guide you through that and help you get planning steps.
Yeah, and help you really know what your monthly payments are going to be throughout
Absolutely.
this whole process,
Right.
which is like, that's pretty much the biggest stress for anyone.
Absolutely.
What's my monthly,
Yeah.
what is my cash out for this?
What money am I married to for the next X amount of months?
Yes, yeah. So great. If you want to set up a time to talk to us, we reach out. We're here for you.
Absolutely. Have a good day.